A chance for a summer getaway in 2020 was like a dream. After a few months in lockdown due to the pandemic, a day at the beach sounded like heaven. But the Hazleton area football team stayed put like a lineman waiting for the snap. The Cougars were focused, ready to attack, and ready to make a statement.
We had players in the summer who were scheduled to go on vacation out of state when that state restriction went in. They canceled their vacation only a week or two before because they didn't want to miss that week of practice for vacation and then miss another 2 weeks because they had to quarantine when they came back from one of those states. That's really impressive because it's not easy. And I know for these guys especially, it's your senior year. What do you want to do right now? You want to be around your friends, right? You want to hang out. You want to do those things. And for these guys to put the program and to put each other before themselves, I think that speaks volumes of these guys here and what we're doing in our program.
It's not like the practices were easy either. In fact, you may want a vacation after just hearing about the Cougars' grueling offseason.
Every day they would just push us and push us and push us. And whenever we started to slow down, they would push us even harder. And that started way back in preseason when they would have us pushing sleds the entire practice. And I feel like that pushing those sleds is what gave us the ability to be able to push the linemen that were bigger than us, because we were a very undersized line. And I think it was just the mentality that we had that helped us get the running game and our pass game going.
The hard work paid off as the Cougars bounced back from a 2-8 record in 2019 to go 4-3. They beat rival Berwick for the first time in over a decade and earned a trip to the District 2 6A championship game.
You're looking at a defense and a football team who's consistently given up 30 points plus per game over the last few years. And you talk about the drastic improvement that we made throughout the year. We talked about in the preseason, let's get into some defensive games. And we certainly did that week one where we held Crestwood. It was a 12-10 game with a little over 6 minutes left. You talk about we had our first shutout since 2017 against Pittston, 21-0. We held a Tunkhannock team to 7 points who just a few weeks later beat a state-ranked Dunmore Bucks team. So you look time and time again, and I think that physicality to the Hazleton area football program is certainly back.
It's safe to say that for almost everybody, this whole year has felt like a 4th and long situation. Well, there were the Cougars facing an actual 4th and long while tied with Tunkhannock at 7 after an 0-2 start to their season. First-year head coach Dennis Bookman kept his offense on the field for the attempt on 4th and 20. Before we get to what happened, let's be real for a second. Hazleton had to be worried or feeling some pressure, right?
The confidence was there every day of practice and every game. Everybody was on the same page, and when we lost the second game, we were like, all right, we have Tunkhannock, we finally have a home game, and everybody was always confident, and we walked into the games thinking we were going to win.
I believe senior lineman Seth Hunsinger, and not just because he's committed to wrestle at Kutztown University and 6 foot something, 200 odd pounds. There was something in his tone and in his eyes. There was belief with no doubt. Bookman says the senior leadership on the team was strong and a big reason for their success. Now back to 4th and 20 and senior quarterback Kellen Warner.
I got an earful from Coach Bookman the play before, or 2 plays before, I remember, because I wasn't, going through my reads, and it wasn't, the right play to make, and I was ready to go. I was happy that we were going for it, and Casadas was running a slot fade, and I knew they only had one safety over top, and they weren't, leaning towards his direction, and with Casadas' speed against an outside backer, I knew I had it, so I just put it over top of him, and Casadas made the catch.
Warner's pass to Matthew Casadas went for a 30-yard touchdown. Hazleton area went up 14-7 on Tunkhannock, won the game 34-7, and won their next 3 games heading into the district championship. The win streak included a 37-12 victory over Berwick. Hazleton fell behind 12-0 in the first quarter, but came back for their first win over the Bulldogs since 2009. Once again, senior leadership played a big part in the game as fullback and linebacker Kevin Molesky stepped up on the sideline after he went down with an injury.
In the second half, when Kevin Molesky goes out of the football game, he had 2 choices there. He could have sulked and kind of hung out in the back, and felt sorry for himself, or he could step up and lead our team. And he chose to lead the football team. And that's really special. And I'll tell you what, he provided a lift that we needed in that first half and in that second half with his leadership. And he was the first one to be able to commend somebody when they were coming off the field, pick somebody up after a poor play. And I mean, he was very instrumental in leading that victory against Berwick.
Hazleton area's season ended with a loss to Delaware Valley in the District 2 6A championship game.
After the loss, the bus ride home, it was just kind of, the thought of you'll never play with these kids again. That's what really got to me and got me upset. But afterwards, I wouldn't have changed one thing. I really wouldn't have. I wouldn't have changed anybody else to play with. These guys are my brothers, they're my family. And that's what I'll remember the most out of high school is this football team. Lifelong friends.
Inside the program, the 2020 Cougars are known as Team 29. They're the 29th team in Hazleton area high school football history. Team 29 kept each other safe during a pandemic, they kept each other motivated and confident when things weren't going their way, and they laid a strong foundation for Team 30 and beyond.
The hard work, the resiliency, the commitment level that our players have, it's just a really, really special group. People talk about all the time today how kids have changed. I don't believe kids have changed. I believe the expectations of kids have changed, and we didn't change our expectations from day one. As Seth said, we went through an off season that wasn't easy and it wasn't for everyone, but we had 100% pull in one direction, and that was as one. We talk about all the time, trust, love, and commit. And when I look these guys in the eye and I tell them I love them, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I tell everybody and anybody that these guys right here are just as much part of my family as my immediate family is. And I mean that. This is just such a special, special group. As I said, I really feel this group is what has laid now the foundation for our program, and we're going to continue to ascend now, not only on the football field, because listen, wins and losses they're important, I guess in the grand scheme of things, but they're not the end all be all either. And for this tremendous group here, as I said, these guys are seniors. They're going to do far greater things than just what they did in high school on the football field, and that's saying something, because the things these guys have done are nothing short of incredible.
For SSPTV Sports, I'm Ken Cara.